Hola, little kitties. For tonight's tale, we are going to bring you a special double event feature, you may say, combining the talents of Quentin Tarantino and the visionary direction of Robert Rodriguez. Tonight's chilling tale of vampires and brothels. Today, or tonight, or either above, it's going to be From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Cinema Gems with your hosts, Aaron Kramers.
Howdy y'all, Thomas Plump.
Claire McClellan.
And tonight's review is a film from Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino, From Dusk Till Dawn.
Now this is like what I call the beginning of the Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez grindhouse obsession thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, for
'Cause
sure.
Ever since this film came out, those two have been obsessed with making anything that's a homage to grindhouse films from the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
Especially Rodriguez, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But, let's get all that aside. What's the film about? Give him a
Excuse me. It's basically the movie is about these two violent criminals, Seth Gecko and Richie Gecko,
Played by Tarantino himself.
and George Clooney.
Mm-hmm. The Silver Fox himself is in this one, ladies.
And they both hold a
A family hostage.
a former priest and his two children hostage,
Mm-hmm.
and they take them to Mexico, where they meet at a
A strip club, right?
strip bar.
The Titty Twister, which, by the way, I think we have some sponsoring for it, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a really weird way of making a deal, especially with all the biting and shit.
My neck is pretty stiff from after one night there.
And my arm's a bit numb.
Eh. She couldn't come, though. It was a strictly boys' night thing.
Yeah, I know. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, but hey, that pandemonium chick though.
Oof.
Did you guys get on with the video?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. And anyways, so
Spoiler alert,
in the
folks.
bar, it all goes tits up,
Quite literally in their case.
figuratively and literally. And we get vampires,
Vampires in Mexico.
vampire strippers.
Mm-hmm. And so basically it's them fighting off the vampires. Evil, sort of like Night of the Living Dead style in a way.
Yes.
Alright. So, let's get into the nitty-gritty with this film. Let's start with the characters, in my opinion.
Right.
Seth Gecko and his
Richie.
brother Richie are like two different, separate personalities.
We get Seth. He's sort of the professional criminal type, as you'd imagine.
Yeah.
He knows what he wants. He doesn't want any fuck-ups in the plan, pretty much. And he doesn't like killing unless he has to, pretty much, in his opinion. But then we get Richie, played by Tarantino.
Right.
I think it's kind of implied that Richie has maybe paranoid schizophrenia of some sort, in a way.
Yeah.
Because he always has these ideas in his head, and he hallucinates that women want him to have sex with them all the time.
Yeah.
So,
I bet that was always with guys.
well, in this case, it involves a lot more, killing.
Richie, do me a favor. Eat my pussy for me, please.
Yep. Actually, strangely enough, this is actually a real life thing, but apparently, here's how Tarantino convinced Clooney to be on the set of this movie, actually.
Wow.
So, Tarantino, when he was still working on, say, like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction,
Right.
he also directed some TV, some here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was actually an episode on ER, actually, where Clooney got his start on, actually,
Oh,
as
yeah.
Dr. Ross.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I forget the name of the episode. I think it was like Motherhood or something. But anyways, that episode was directed by Tarantino, and he met Clooney on the set, and they got to talking, and they actually hanged out a lot. And when he got a call from Rodriguez, he talked to George and say, "Hey, I got this film, man. I was wondering, would you like to star in it?" And George said, "Sure, why not?" As Tarantino said, I wanted George to play somebody who would put you in the hospital instead of saving you in the hospital.
That
And
makes
why-
a lot of sense.
And you can tell that Clooney just charms it up in this film. He's got so much charm pouring out of his ass in this movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Like always.
But then let's get to the other characters, the family.
Right.
Yes.
Harvey Keitel is always the best. What can I say?
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
And him playing like this priest who's like lost his way.
Lost his ways, lost his faith.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of reminds me of his character from Mean Streets by Scorsese in a way, about a character who has faith, but he's sort of questioning whether that faith is,
Valid.
in anything. Especially since he's lost his wife, he's lost a lot of things in life.
Mm-hmm.
But then when the vampires come, he gets his faith back, and he's willing to fight monsters, even if it means to his death, pretty much.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of like a bunch of other like priest characters in different films.
It's a common enough arc. It's been used in like a lot of movies.
Don't get me started with Mel Gibson's one.
Oh yeah, Signs. Yeah, I forgot about that movie.
God damn, it was horrible.
Mm.
And Juliette Lewis as Kate.
How old was she when she did this? She's like
Probably around the time when she was in Natural Born Killers.
So she's young in this one.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
It's weird seeing her in this now because she's like in her 40s now, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And seeing her back here, she's like basically a young adult. She's just starting out, but she brings a lot of grace and charm to this film.
Yeah.
My dad doesn't like Juliette Lewis, believe it or
What?
not.
She doesn't like Juliette Lewis. What's wrong with him?
I don't know.
What?
It's
It's just
probably because of Natural Born Killers.
That would
Oh,
explain. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
sure, I guess. But besides that, who's the actor who plays his son in that?
I don't know, but he was a really shitty actor.
Obviously, no wonder he never got work after that.
Yeah.
Well, enough about him. Let's talk about the real people that get us interested in this film.
The vampire.
The vampires.
Right.
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo, it's Machete, man!
Oh my
Cheech Marin.
Oh, interesting
In
fact about...
3 roles.
Yeah, Cheech Marin plays 3 characters in the film.
Yeah.
The border police guy who accidentally walks into Juliette Lewis on the toilet.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
The guy at the titty twister who.
Hey, come on now! It's pussy, pussy, pussy! Come on in, pussy lovers! We got this thing.
Vulgarity at its best.
He's got a perfect beard for that role, though. In my
That
opinion.
monologue, though.
If you can find pussy for somewhere cheaper, fuck it. And then he plays Carlos, the guy who
Yes.
saves them at the end.
Yeah.
They were some kind of psychotics or something. They were some kind of crazy. I gotta love Cheech Marin. He
Yeah.
brings a lot of dexterity to those characters in a way.
Mm.
And of course, we also have Selma Hayek shaking what she got right there, and confirming that yes, indeed, Tarantino has a foot fetish. I mean, come on, that shot where her foot's in his mouth and she's pouring the whiskey down and all that, and you can see in Tarantino's face like, oh, I just came.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but wouldn't that taste kind of yuck?
Not to Tarantino.
Well, it depends on like what she's been stepping on.
We'll ask him with Thurman. She probably knows what he's into.
Oh my god.
Oh, interesting fact, actually. Apparently, Selma Hayek didn't get the role at first, apparently.
Who was gonna play?
Originally, well, here's the thing. She didn't want to be in the film at first because she has a real big phobia of snakes, actually. So that scene where she has a snake around her, she said she was legit terrified, actually, of that snake.
I would be.
I would be too. Look at that thing. It's huge. But more importantly, here's how Rodriguez convinced her to be in the film. He told her, oh, you gotta be quick. I heard Madonna might be interested in the role. And she said, okay, I'll take it.
Ooh.
So yeah, be careful or the material girl will get your role, Selma.
Yeah.
But speaking of vampire, did you know that that band that was playing in the bar? Apparently, I didn't know this, but the lead singer is actually friends with Robert Rodriguez, actually.
Oh.
In fact, they played in, I think, most of the scenes that they played for cheap, actually. Because Robert was such good friends with them, actually.
Well, that's nice.
Well, that's Robert's thing. He likes the whole cheap route, you know?
Oh.
He likes to get his movies done quickly and cheaply.
Well, his first movie was El Mariachi.
Exactly. And that, how much was that movie made again?
$7,000.
Just $7,000 to make one movie. That's insane, considering today's atmosphere in films.
Yeah.
We should make a movie for $7,000.
Wink, wink, guys.
Yeah.
But more importantly, let's also talk about who else we meet in the bar. We got the black karate guy, kind of, you know.
Yes,
I forget what that guy's name is, but he was like in a lot of blaxploitation films in the 70s. I remember.
and Tom Savini's Sex Machine.
It sounds like he did all the effects for this film also, right?
No, I think it was Greg Nicotero.
Yeah, in fact, there's a scene where Sex Machine steals the beer from this big blonde biker dude. Guess who plays that guy?
Greg Nicotero.
That's Greg Nicotero's cameo.
Oh my god.
And he pulls out a knife, and Sex Machine's like, don't even try it. Got a cock gun, which unfortunately was used in Machete Kill later.
Ah.
Less said about that, the better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, an interesting fact about the effects apparently. Did you know originally, did you ever wonder why the vampires only bleed green in the film?
Yeah.
For the R rating.
Yeah, they were afraid that if they got red blood, they would have gotten an NC-17, so in order to dodge that, they had to make it green for the sake of, not being banned in several countries, probably.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we covered the characters. Let's also cover the set for this film.
Right.
The Titty Twister is an interesting place, in my opinion.
It looks like a castle.
Actually, I think that pyramid thing was, according to Robert Rodriguez and Tarantino, they based the look on that off the temple from Apocalypse Now near the end.
Oh, right.
The whole idea of bodies everywhere, decay, all that shit. Like you're entering a new world kind of thing.
Yeah.
However, I've looked at some photos of that pyramid, and it kind of reminded me of some real-life pyramids I've seen in Mexico. The Mayan or Aztec pyramids.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is interesting, because the Aztecs actually believed in this one back god that was essentially kind of like a vampire god.
Right on.
Oh.
So are they implying that these vampires are somehow connected to that thing?
Probably.
We'll never know. Maybe.
That would be an interesting concept.
I get the feeling that that pyramid's been around for like several generations, but over the years they've modified it to make it
Look
fit
newer.
fit in with what's popular at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen this in one of the sequels, I think. I think it was the third one, where it was also a saloon back in the old Western days, kind of,
Yeah.
before it became a strip club or something like that. So yeah, it's implied that a lot of history is behind that place.
Yeah.
But now, let's also talk about what really makes any good Tarantino or Robert Rodriguez film,
Right.
the violence.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's lots of blood and guts.
I think what sums it up perfectly is the beginning of the movie, where Clooney and Tarantino are in the film, they're holding everyone hostage, and they shoot that guy in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And they shoot Michael Parks in that film also.
Yes.
Before he ended up in Red State, that was him, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sort of like the type of violence you would expect from these guys. It's bloody, it's over the top, it's gratuitous sometimes, and we love it.
Well, that's what you kind of expect out of like any kind of like good vampire movie. And I'm not talking about Twilight.
Or any just any good action film by these two guys, really.
Mhm.
Yeah, true.
I mean, you can tell that they put a lot of effort into their stuff. And
Oh,
you can
yeah.
also tell because I've heard that it's been confirmed that this film takes place in both the Tarantino and the Robert Rodriguez universes, actually.
Oh.
Do you know how I know?
Big Kahuna Burger.
Yeah, there's a big Kahuna Burger. George Clooney's character, when he goes to the hotel, has Kahuna Burger bags, actually.
Oh, cool.
And then at the bar, I think one of the beers that they're drinking there is the same beer found in some of Desperado or something like that.
Ah.
Oh.
I forget the name of it. I think they'll type it down in the comments, but yeah, it's the same beer logo.
Oh, yes.
Having said that, then we get the vampire fight scene, and my god, is it gloriously over the top.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, you got George Clooney with a steak jackhammer. What more do you want?
That was pretty
And Juliette Lewis with a crossbow, and they're using holy water balloons, things.
Like condoms.
Last time I saw something like that, it was in a Bart Baker video
Oh, really?
with Tay-Tay.
Oh, yeah, it's the holy water balloon.
What were they doing with all the water guns and all that?
I think it's implied that because they mostly prey on bikers and truckers, they take a lot of the cargo that they would have been carrying.
The water guns.
It was the 90s, man. They had a lot of those shit out at the time.
Like, I understand that they snatched them from some kids,
But this is truckers. Were they trucking Toys R Us shit?
Probably.
And
maybe,
what
maybe. I don't know.
What can I say, man? What can I say?
Yeah, like a plot hole, maybe.
Yeah, speaking of which, let's get into some things maybe you guys didn't like about the film.
What I didn't like about From Dusk Till Dawn was, as far as I can remember, is the kid Jake.
I mean the Asian kid, right?
Yes, he was wooden.
I guess you can kind of get the fact that he was just some random actor they found, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Or even if random, because if we know Robert Rodriguez, he probably just got random people to act in the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're working on a shoestring budget. You don't have much of talent in the way.
Yeah.
I mean, you get Harvey Keitel and George Clooney. Those guys are expensive.
Yeah.
And Juliette Lewis.
Well, obviously.
And Cheech Marin.
And Cheech Marin and Danny Trejo and even the freaking band that they got, even though they work for cheap. Now, there's something that you personally didn't like about it?
I have to go with like I know you're probably like, I don't know, I'd have to say all the sexual stuff.
I guess.
But that's just me because like, I don't know, I don't like the representation of women at times.
I guess, and you can argue that that's kind of what they were going for, the whole exploitative things that you saw in the 80s and 70s and shit like that.
Yep.
I know, which is like...
Gratuitous butt shots and all that shit.
I would have to say another problem I had was the Cheech Marin monologue. As memorable as it is, I found it really too vulgar for me.
When in Rodriguez land, right?
Or Tarantino land.
Or Tarantino land, exactly. Except it would have had a lot more N-words in it, probably.
Yeah.
But one thing...
What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
One thing I wasn't too keen on was some of the effects for the vampires.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, the effects are top notch a lot of the time. Especially when Sex Machine turns into a rat, that was my favorite part. But sometimes I felt like a lot of the effects they use on, say, when they got hit with the water balloon, I think they may have used... Did they use any, like, green screen or anything?
I don't know. Probably did. Or blue screen.
I was gonna say, because that's the times where I could see that the effects were really kind of shoddy in a way.
Yeah.
Because it looks kind of bad. But when they did use practical effects, I actually really liked it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of brings me back to those old times where we didn't need to rely on CGI pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, I suppose we should now rank it, guys.
Yes. All in all, I thought From Dusk Till Dawn was a fun movie to watch.
Exactly.
Is it perfect? No.
Goodness gracious, no.
But it's still fun. I liked it, so I'm giving it a 7 out of 10.
Okay. Let's see. I have to admit, there is something in me that really adores Robert Rodriguez's approach to filmmaking as an indie filmmaker. The idea about shooting all this on a very low budget and getting just all the sort of fun that you want in a film with all this, even if it is on a low budget. I kind of admire him for that.
Right.
So for that, I'd have to give him a 7 out of 10 myself. And yourself?
I'd have to go with probably like a 7 out of 10 as well.
That seems fair.
Like, as much as like it is a really great film, there was like some problems I really had going with it, but it's still good, so it's...
Maybe for
I don't know, it's not my favorite, so...
Maybe for a sequel, we can make a crossover with the Magic Mike universe. The nut twister, we'll call it.
The Dick Pincher.
Exactly.
I know, I would have gone with like Christina Aguilera's title, Candyman.
Ooh.
You could even play that song too.
Yeah, why not? It is Robert Rodriguez. He can get some copyright.
Plus, then it could also be like a nod to like, you know, Candyman himself.
Just get Tony Tom the role. That's all we need.
Come with me and be immortal.
Literally, come with me. Ha
Oh,
ha
no. Okay, so
Anyways, that's all for now. Take care.
see you later, Ramblers.
Bye.
Let's get rambling then.
My God, From Dusk Till Dawn is always such a classic film, but for some reason, I just always have to replay the scene with Selma Hayek over and over. And every time I notice, I can't control my hands. It's almost like they have a mind of their own. Anyways, what a great film. Tom Savini, Sex Machine. Great man, great man. I wish I had a cock gun like that.